guys, autofanatic. I'm going to do a video on how I clean all of my paint correcting and polishing pads. These are all foam pads, and I got some microfiber pads up here as well. The only ones we're going to talk about are the ones that most of you guys are going to have. I have two professional 3M pads here. This is a double-sided Perfected. This is a single-sided 3M wool pad. These are a little bit too thick to do the process that I'm going to show you guys, but then again, most enthusiasts and DIYers are not going to have these things on hand. These are very expensive. These are designed for rotary tools, not dual actions, and not like a Flex 3401. So I'm not going to really go into that. I want to show you guys, how to do most of these pads. These are some other 3M Perfecteds. We have some Griot's Boss pads here. We got more 3M Perfected pads. We have an Adams smaller pad here. And we also have, I believe, this is from Chemical Guys. This is a thicker microfiber pad. This is going to be a little bit harder to use, using my method, but you can do it with a little bit of patience. All we're going to do is we're going to use a couple of ounces of the Griot's microfiber foam pad cleaner. You could use any microfiber cleaner you want. Just don't use a degreaser, because the degreasers are going to deteriorate the foam, and you're going to spend hours trying to get these things clean. So why do you want to clean your pads? Because if you let the compounds and polishes dry, next time you use it, it's going to become ineffective. You're going to dust out throughout the whole car. It's going to make a mess, and it's just not going to do a very good job. Now, some guys like to use the rake or the brush and spin it. I personally don't like to do that because pads are expensive. I have a lot of money invested in pads, and what I'm going to show you today is how I've been doing it for the longest time ever. And I'll just give you an idea, like some of these Perfected pads, these little ones, these are soft. I've had these for about 4 years, and I clean them regularly. Same thing with these pads. Had these for years. So these aren't brand new, even though they look pretty good. But you could see, they got some polish and stuff on there. And I take care of my stuff, and I'm just going to show you guys quick. All right, guys, we're back. So we got my my 2 square wash buckets here. The bucket on the right, we're going to put 4 ounces of the Griot's microfiber towel and pad cleaner, and the bucket on the left we're just going to use with simple water, and we're going to mix this around a little bit. And what I like to do is, depending on the size of your bucket and how many pads you have, I just throw them in there, and we're going to soak them. And as you soak them, do this with gloves on. You're going to want to go, and you can see already it's starting to get the pads cleaned up. This one's going to need a little bit more work because it's pretty loaded up. We're going to get some more pads to throw in there. Now, you don't want to overfill the bucket with the solution. You want to kind of keep it so you got enough room to work and squeegee and wring out your pads like I'm showing you here. And that one's almost clean. Now we're going to throw a thinner microfiber pad. This is probably a common pad that a lot of you guys are going to be using to do any of your serious paint correction. I'm going to zoom in on the camera so you guys can see the water already. And we're already doing a pretty effective job. So you're going to have to, use your hands. And it just takes a matter of minutes. And then when I'm done, we're going to run them through the wringer, and then we let them air dry. I don't put them in the laundry dryer just because I just don't think that's a good idea. I don't use the brush, I don't use the rake, and I don't use the grit guard fancy bucket to clean the pads, because it creates a lot of friction, and the more friction you create on the foam cell surface, you're going to eventually deteriorate, and then these pads are going to be junk, and there goes your investment. So, like I said, I'm going to let these sit. Usually, I'll let them soak after I, wring them out a little bit like I'm showing you here for about 10 minutes. And then I'll move the camera around and I'll show you what I do to wring them out. And then we set them aside and we air dry them. Alright guys, we're back. I had these in the bucket with the microfiber cleaner for about 10 minutes. And you guys can see how cloudy and milky the water is, and you can even see the color even on the wax pad, how it's come out. So this is what I do. After I let them sit for 10 minutes, I have the clean bucket of water here. So what I do with my hands, I just wring out every single one and I throw them into the clean bucket, because you want to make sure you get all of the polishes and cleaning solution off the pads. And then we're going to do the final ring using the professional wringer. But what you don't want to do, you don't want to take it from the dirty bucket and then start to wring it out already, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of residue that's going to be left in the pad, and you're going to have to do it 2 or 3 times. So here's the clean bucket like I'm showing you. And if you get any lint, just get it out. And you could see I'm dunking them in here and just go over them real quick. You know, this one had a little bit left in there. But this will ensure that you get these pads really, really clean. Alright guys, you saw the first steps of the pad cleaning, how I showed you. The final step, I got my industrial wringer mounted into my jaw horse. I'm telling you guys, you got to get a wringer. You'll use it for everything, for auto detailing. And the jaw horse, it is one of the most used tools in the shop. On the wringer, there are spring tensioners on both sides. You want to loosen them up just with enough tension. The rollers have enough room for the thickness of the foam pad. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to start with the small 3M perfected pad, and what you're going to have to do with the foam pads, because of the thickness, you're going to have to feed it and roll it at the same time, just like that. So you just feed it through a couple of times, and that's it, you're done. And then what I do, I set them aside and I just go through the process. Pull them out of the clean water bucket by hand, and then you're going to feed it through. And you can see the water right there in the camera, how effective it is of getting these things out. Now, you're going to have to play around with the tension depending on the pads you have, but like I said, you just play around with it like this, and you'll get a good ring of the water after like 2 or 3 rolls through the machine. So we're going to put that one aside. Let's grab, this is a thick, fairly dense wax pad. So you can see it's pretty clean, it's just loaded with water. And that's it, you just make a quick pass. Just do it a couple of times and it's like really effortless. And you put that to the side. Now we have a 4-inch waffle pad here. And I haven't made any real adjustments to the rolling mechanism tension. Right there. Put that to the side. Now we're going to get the larger 3M Perfected finishing pad. These pads are like 35 bucks, so these are what all the auto body and restoration shops use. You don't want to trash these. These are very soft, they're very expensive, and I found that just doing this method prolongs the life of the pads, and it takes a little bit of time, but it's a lot safer than spinning it on the machine and using a brush or one of those wheels with the spikes on it. So we're done there. Griot's Garage orange pad. You can see it's a little bit thicker, a little bit denser. Nice and easy. And you'll know you're pretty wrung out just by looking at the change in color between the saturated one and the one that's, you know, dried through the wringer. Now we're going to move on to the white pad. This is the dense pad, like the cutting pad. I use these a lot, you can see. And some of the staining that's in there, a lot of that you're not going to get. That comes from a lot of oxidation from certain finishes. I do a lot of single stage paints on vintage cars, and that's why the pads are a little stained permanently. That's that. This is a denser version of that same white pad, just a smaller one. Same process. Just feed it through. Don't feed your fingers through, because that won't be fun. And that's it. And then the last pad we're going to do, this is a finishing pad for the Flex 3401. You can use this with finishing sealants or, you know, final finishes, and that's it. So you're done. So after I pretty much go through the process, and we're talking literally like under 15 minutes right now. I set everything up like I'm showing you here. I put everything on the side, and then I'm going to bring everything on my work table and lay them out on the carpeted topper that I have, and I let them air dry. We're done with the pads. You can see that's the wash bucket, and here's the rinse bucket. There's the jaw horse with the industrial wringer, explaining to you how you just adjust the tension to get the pads through. After you roll them through a couple of times, it's a matter of seconds. Lay them out over here, stack them up, and then when we're done, place everything on my workbench. I have a carpeted topper here, and this will help absorb any water on the backside. And that's pretty much it. Usually let them dry overnight. If you have a sunny day, you could bring your work surface outside. You can lay these things outside on, you know, top of your garbage pail. Hey guys, hope you guys got a couple of quick tips on how to care for your microfiber and your foam polishing pads, wax pads, microfiber pads, whatever. Like I said, I've been doing this for well over 20 years using the industrial wringer. The jaw horse is a must-have. The industrial wringer is a must-have. Any of you mobile detailers, you guys most likely have a truck or a van. Pick up the industrial wringer and pick up a jaw horse. It folds up. You throw it on your truck. You set it up at your client's house, and you just knock this stuff out. You wring out your towels 1, 2, 3. You wring out your pads. You increase your productivity and efficiency like tenfold. And if you guys are doing fleets and a lot of vehicles in one situation, it's going to make your life so much easier. Trust me on that. I'm all about efficiency. I'm all about getting the job done right and doing it the quickest possible way with the least amount of effort. So, like I said, these pads, they last me year after year. Once in a while, you will trash a pad on a car with the emblems and trim, and especially stuff like that. Like on some classic cars, you got to be careful. But other than that, follow the steps. Use 2 buckets. Rinse it out, roll it through the wringer, let them air dry, and you're done. So next time you go to use your pads on a DA or your forced rotation or rotary machine, they're going to be clean, they're not going to dust all over the car you're working on, and it's going to make your job so much more better, and you're going to be happy that you actually did it. I don't recommend using a bristle brush. I don't recommend power washing the pads. I don't recommend hosing the pads, and I do not recommend using the laundry machine and throwing them in the dryer. That's just my opinion. If you guys do it and you're happy with it, so be it. But I just want to show you guys how I do it, and my pads last year after year, and it's my investment. And like I said, just wanted to share it with you guys. Hope you like the content. Please like, share, subscribe. Any questions, comments, posted below. Hit me up direct, autofanatic@yahoo.com if you got any questions. I will put a link in the description in this video for the jaw horse, for the microfiber cleaner, and for the industrial wringer that I have and I showed you here today. So see you guys soon. Stay tuned to the channel for more automotive content ranging from detailing, DIY repair, everything in between. Autofanatic@yahoo.com, and please check out my new website, autofanatic.com. See you soon.